Welcome to the Launch with Words podcast with your host, Bridget Willard. We're going to talk about all things content, blogging, articles, videos, whatever has words and goes on your website. Hey, it's your friend Bridget here, back with another episode of season 3 of the Launch with Words podcast, brought to you by me and my next guest, Matt Levenhagen. Hey, Matt, thanks for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Tell the folks listening who you are and how to contact you. Let's get that in the front of the show instead of buried at the end.
Yes, I am all in on web design and development. I have an agency. I've been doing this. We're completing our 5th year. So we've done a lot. We've figured out what we're doing by this point. And so yeah, we do a lot of 90% of what we do is probably WordPress. We do other stuff, all kinds of different types of projects. We do. We specialize on custom WordPress and custom websites, and maintenance is really our 2 big pillars.
So a lot of our small business owners that listen to this podcast, maybe they have a window cleaning business or a floral shop. Like, why custom WordPress? Like, what's the advantage of going in with a custom WordPress website?
That's a great question, and there's a number of good reasons. Number one, well, for me, so I'm going to look at it because I'm a business owner too, right? When I am going to start I've started a few companies over the decades, but the first thing I want to do is I want to care about my brand and how I show up in the world, right? And that I have a professional presence on the web, and also that I have kind of control of that. And I'm not a control freak or anything, but I don't like having my business on like a third-party service, like whether it's Wix or anything out there, or even some people that might just have their whole business on Facebook for some reason. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, there is. I mean, you can dance around that. I'm like, no, Facebook's like what you do after you build your website, or you could do it while your website's being built to kind of get a feel of your audience. But you shouldn't put all of your marketing efforts on a third-party platform because you could get kicked off. Somebody could report you. It could shut down. I've seen where employees had admin access of company Facebook pages, and then they were fired, and bye-bye, Facebook page is gone.
Oh yeah, that can happen.
You just as a small business owner, you're giving your blood, your sweat, your tears, the second or the HELOC on your house, and you're the one putting in all of your efforts.
Yeah.
So you should give it all of the chance it can get. And I really, really loved what you said. I want to care about my business and how I show up in the world.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? How does that resonate in as the web? Do you think people who are looking for florists and everything, do you think they really care if you have a website?
I think they do care. I think in whatever business you're in, that's kind of like the front of your store. That's the reason people are going to walk into your life and to buy your stuff. I look at, even though you have all the satellite stuff you might do, you might be on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you are, with whatever makes sense for your business. People want to be able to see that you also are established, and a website, not only can a website establish you as kind of, okay, this person is actually, they're legit, they have a real website, and hopefully it's professional looking, and you have all that, but at the end of the day, it's like you also have the capability to do so much more on there, and you can do you have more control over the layouts and what you offer in your content, and believe it or not, people that are looking for services, I know I do this, whether it's a plumber or whoever, I'm going to do some Google searches and I'm going to see, are they, first of all, I want to see they have a website and that it's a professional website and hopefully it sells well. You can tell a lot about a company by that. And they're going to look around. They're going to look at your other properties, especially in my business. I mean, I'm a web design agency. I know because I've had clients tell me that, oh, you're everywhere. You're famous. I'm not really famous, but I just am everywhere. I'm prolific, right? I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on
Yeah.
Instagram. But I also have that website, and that establishes our brand, and it's consistent, and I don't have to worry about it going away someday.
Yep.
I own it, even if we're on a good host, but even if the hosting would disappear tomorrow, I have good maintenance practices and backups, and I could have that backup in an hour somewhere else. So having that control and an ability to over your brand, and also just that's going to make you look better. And people, people buy from people they trust. They can see that they're a professional. And I really think at the center of that, I've been doing online stuff for 20 years in various forms, but the center of that still to this day, even though there's all this other stuff out there, it's your website.
Yeah. I really liked how you said that, to see that you're established, because in the advertising and sales industry, we're like discovery and validation, discovery and validation. Like, if I'm going to spend my hard earned dollars on your business, I don't want to spend it on somebody that's fly by night. If I'm hiring a painter, I'm going to hire you again. If I tell somebody, the worst thing is when you tell somebody, oh, yeah, I use so and so, you go to their website or the business, it's dead. It's already dead. But you're right about that. You put something into the game. You're invested in your own business, and the website is a strong indicator that you're here to stay. And then
Mm-hmm.
on the custom site, where you touched on being able to, what we would call, scale. So your website, you're doing this stuff, everything's great. People love your in. They want to buy your swag after they left. Like, maybe they saw your sweatshirts while they were there, but they really didn't buy it from you. But if you have a WordPress website, you can easily add e-commerce to it so that you can extend the ways your business generates revenue.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and it gives you so much more flexibility. Now, again, on some of these other platforms, I mean, I don't know, you might send them to a PayPal link to buy something or something
No.
simple like that.
I
Or
mean,
just call us. We can do it manually over the phone. It happens if people are doing that. I know. But yes, having a website, it establishes you. You got, you can, if you do it right, you have a professional help you, especially, but maybe you got some skills, get it established, get something out there, get something what we call in the programming world minimal viable, right? Something that at least have a home page and a contact page and about page, maybe something about your services or your products, and then and you don't even have to. You can keep it real simple. You can have just PayPal links at first, but once you have that website, especially on WordPress, the beautiful thing about it is it can grow with your business. And where your business is today, you don't know where you're going to be in 3 years. No, if anyone tells you where they know where their business is going to be in 3 years, they're lying. They don't know. They might have a vision, they might have a plan and a strategy, but so much can happen in that 3 years. So in 3 years, if you have WordPress, because of the ecosystem and the flexibility of that system, you can build out new ways to sell. You can build out that e-commerce store, or build out a members area, or build out different types of content, and there's so much flexibility in what you can do.
It's just really amazing to me. There's a local theater group, Broadway Around America or something like that. They're coming to Corpus Christi. We were really excited about it, my friend and I, and we were going to sign up, but you had to go on their website and get a paper form as a PDF. Then you print the PDF on the printer. I don't have a printer. Do you have a printer? I don't have a printer. I
I
literally
do,
had to
but
email my friend to print my application for my Texas license. Okay. I don't have a printer. I haven't used a printer in years. I've like when I have to go, I do it at Office Depot, but Sarah just said send it to her. And then you print this form out, okay? These are for kind of expensive seats for a ticketed event, right? They want you to buy the season pass. Then you fill it out with your credit card information on a piece of paper. Now, are you willing, Matt Levenhagen, to write your credit card number on a piece of paper that you're going to randomly give to someone at this open house? No.
that's a little insecure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not what we
Don't
would
do
call
that.
in the web agents in the web world as PCI compliant. So it's not protecting your personal consumer information. And so like so that and then but if this nonprofit had a custom WordPress website and more importantly, a maintenance contract with someone like you, they could have said, "Hey, Matt, we have this form." And you could have been like, "That's really cute. Let's get some gravity forms and whatever WooCommerce involved." Like,
That's right. That's
so
right.
we could pick your seats on a paper if you want to, but
Yeah.
like the credit card information is going to go through a legitimate payment processor, which PayPal is, to be fair.
Hmm.
Um, but like to me, this is like the biggest reason to have a maintenance is so that you don't have to keep finding some web developer every time you need to make a change, in addition to all the other features. How do you tell your small business owners why maintenance for your website is so important and a must have?
All right. Yeah. So the way we approach maintenance is we have a couple different, basically two different avenues. One is let's keep your website up and secure and up to date.
That's kind of important.
That's the real just tech, right? Just somebody's going in, they're giving you your website love every month, right? And they're checking things out. They're now we don't automate updates and all that stuff. Everything's manual. We actually have a QA process, a dedicated QA person that checks it out and all that. But you don't have to go that far. But to have somebody that is that at least can go in and keep the website up to date and make sure it's not broken and have a good process to test those things. And so if it does break, you can recover. But it's that. But then also we have this, we like have a maintenance. It's a little more robust. It's kind of, I call it the all inclusive, where you can in both these plans there's built-in hours, but for a certain number of hours per month, you have that same maintenance, the tech, but then you have things like we need help. And this happens, we've been working with clients for years, especially e-commerce stores that are growing or busy or huge, or if you're scaling, you're going to decide that you want things over time.
Right.
And a lot of these things are technical, or there's a team out there somewhere that said, yes, we want to add this review widget to your website or this review section, and it's a feed, but it involves integration and them touching the code. Now you have that external team touching that code. Instead, you would have, having somebody that's actually in charge of your website to work with that other team because we have the technical knowledge to understand what they need and how to implement it and oversee it so nothing gets messed up. There's all that types of integrations over time. You got a plugin you want to test. Is this plugin going to conflict with something else, or is it going to, is there a better option out there? You have somebody to advise you too, because I need this type of plugin or I need this. You have an advisor on hand that's lives and breathes this stuff, because you don't, right? You're out.
Right.
You should be out building your business, marketing, doing what's in your wheelhouse, and selling and creating products, whatever you're doing. But to have a technical team or a person there to guide you and help out with those things. And again, if there's also this, so I work with a lot of different clients, and sometimes it's figuring out how to adapt. Like if you're an existing business, I'll give you an example. So we have um, a manufacturer we're working with that have been around for like 100 years.
Okay.
And they do a lot of things manually.
Well, yeah.
And they take orders manually. They've never had an online store. They've never done any. They just have content on a website, and this is who we are, what we do, and it's a nice site, but they're not selling anything there. And they wanted to finally get into the 21st century, I think we're in, and actually start
manual
offering
orders.
Web-based stuff.
I'm sorry, I'm just stuck on manual orders.
Call us, and we'll type it. Yeah, write it all up for you. But there's companies out there like that, especially larger companies.
I know. Like I mean, it reminds me of roofing when they called in with a leak request. Okay, we got this form, like this like 5-part NCR form, and everybody gets a different color. What year is this? This is 2023, right. Not 1993, people.
That's okay, right, but it's hard though. It's hard.
I know.
For especially a company like that's well established.
Yeah,
they have their way been doing things forever. So, but having somebody like a maintenance team or a company they contract with that can create a custom plan for them to get from point A to point B.
Yes,
because it's not just we're going to put up a e-commerce store now and we're just going to start selling everything online. And that doesn't work, especially in this particular case I'm talking about. But it's creating a plan that gets them a little closer.
Yes.
So now, like, we just helped them build out their first store.
Yay!
And they're taking, they have their products on there. But it's still manual. They just get a notification now through their website.
Okay.
And they'll still process it manual. They can, there's now a checkout button though. They can pay for it. With a seat.
Now that's the most important part, is getting the money faster.
That's right. It's more secure.
Prevents accounts receivable problems. You don't have to take people's small claims when the button and it takes the money and you got the money in 3 days, right? Because the banks like to hold on to it for some reason.
Yeah.
That's another
podcast. There's a lot of reasons, but now they have that set up. And so there'll be probably a second phase at some point. Okay. Or
there'll be about 5 phases.
They're also just right. And then they're also just figuring out, are people going to use the store?
Right.
So let's get it here first. Let's see if people actually use the store, and then so on and so forth. So but yeah, that's why WordPress is so beautiful too. I work in other platforms, even like Shopify and stuff. It's really hard to do some things.
Everybody says Shopify is so easy, so that's just marketing BS, huh?
Well, I mean, it's not bad. It just depends what you want to do, right?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? And it's you are confounded by the limitations of the platform. Apple's having their big thing today. They're going to have 10 million phones. People either love Apple or they hate it. Now, I like it because I just like what I'm doing, but I've had a lot of trouble originally with some of their things. And you can only do what they let you do because they've already decided the best way to do something. If you want to do things other ways, you've got to leave the platform, right? So in a lot of ways, that's the proprietary Apple way or the open source Google way, which is WordPress. Google isn't WordPress, but that concept of you have something that other people can build onto easily, which means that is a great framework for you to expand your offerings on the internet. Like even somebody saying, just add a button. I'll never forget. Just add a button. To do what? Well, to subscribe. To subscribe to what? Well, to our email. Well, which one do you want to do? You mean I got to pay for MailChimp? I mean, you have to sign up for something. You can't just put a button. You can't just put a button on a website. I mean, you could, but it's not going to work. What do you want the button to do? This is what these are real conversations, and we're going to go a little bit over because I still want to have this conversation with you. Like but I want to ask you this. How do you overcome the objection to the cost?
The cost. Well,
what is your magic trick for explaining to people that they should be spending 15% of their revenue on marketing that includes their website? So they have the money. don't go to Paris this year. Pay attention to your business. How do you explain that to them?
Well, a lot of times I don't always have to explain it. Some businesses, they get it out of the gates, right?
Oh, okay.
I think it's like when, again, looking at me, like I have my own business. Um, I want to grow. Um, I want to uh, be able to sustain what I have, and I want to not have to worry about my website. And I want a nice website because I want to establish myself as an authority. I want to establish I'm going to be professional and be out there. Um, but I went into business assuming that I would invest a certain amount of money into resources and marketing. I mean,
Okay.
I just think a business that's not thinking about, allotting a portion of their revenue. It's similar to, I follow this program called Profit First, right? And it's similar to that. You pay yourself first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the idea. And then that what you have left is what you make the decision about what you're investing in otherwise. But
Yes.
you can take that, if you can take that a little bit further and say, okay, well, I paid myself, and now I'm going to pay the marketing department and to take care of my website, and maybe an SEO or somebody to help me with that side of the business, somebody to create my content, or to invest that time and money. That's next, and then the rest of it, right? I mean, for
Yeah.
me, it's like I like to lead with the marketing. That's the first thing I built was my website when I started Unified Web Design, my design agency. That's the first thing I built. I didn't even think about it. And but you and also when I didn't do it right away. In the first year or two, I was pretty solo building my own business, right? As soon as I got a chance, I hired and this is a same thing. I hired a VA to help me do content and marketing and
Yeah.
distribute my content, and then I allot a certain amount of time for my web developers to actually work on our own sites. We're actually
Yes.
doing a little bit on our homepage right now. I just talked to my designer about that. So we reinvest not only just monetarily, we actually have the nice advantage of having
Yeah.
some of that in house. So I just take a few more hours from them and put that in. But for me, I don't see it as a choice. I think
Yeah.
if you want to stay, like I think, like, I know that I could stop marketing today and just put up a basic website and be fine, right? I get referrals, people like me. We got good business, we got good established clients and all that. But that's not my long-term vision. My long-term vision is to grow and to improve and to get better and better clients and leverage what I've already done. And you can do that, like, my own website, Unified Web Design. We're continuously, a couple times a year, I'm going in there. What can we add? What can we
Yeah.
leverage? Oh, we started working with this client. We're going to actually start, surprisingly, because we do a lot of white label, so it didn't really matter. Surprisingly, we're actually going to now start putting um, case studies on there and
Nice.
about clients we work with and stuff. That didn't happen right away, but it's something that we're doing now because we have goals and we want to do that. But it's continually iterating on that. But that is going to set us up. So now we close more sales.
Yep.
It's growth. It's invest. Even though, like I said, we could stop. I have kind of established a baseline in my own business. We're going to do a baseline of content every day. We're going to do a baseline of this, that, and the other thing every year. A couple times we're looking at each website we have. So I think that it's not. I don't think it's a choice. I
Yeah.
think you can. People are not going to do it, but you can't. Make people do anything. But
I mean,
I
yeah,
think it's
that's
just
true.
the smart move.
I think there's a lot of businesses that started up during COVID. They're like, okay, well, I lost my job or whatever, and now I'm going to do this whatchamacallit thing. And then they didn't come in with that mentality, right? They didn't come in with, well, I'm going to be in it to win it kind of thing, you know? And you've touched on a bunch of other like subjects, but going to revisiting your goals and your big picture. Like to me, I think you build a business. You shouldn't build a business to be fine. Like you shouldn't buy a piece of jewelry that's okay. You shouldn't buy a pair of a dress that's okay. You should buy something you love. You should buy something that fits. You should buy something that's comfortable. You should buy a piece of jewelry that makes you happy and your face lights up. You know, you should do something that goes to your why. And even if your long-term why isn't, like a lot of people want to hand their business down to their kids, right? That's normal. And other people want to build a business to sell it. And if you don't have a website, you don't have that part of the business assets to sell. Like that is a big, big thing for selling because you have the users, you have the subscribers, and then you have actual business assets to sell other than the lease up for your shop. You know what I mean? So like if you had 2 minutes, give me 4 things, rapid fire. How about 5? I like 5. The number 5, feeling lucky with number 5. 5 things business owners need to know that you come across a lot that drives you banana pants. Rapid fire, like
Okay. All right. Okay, rapid fire. Okay, first of all, know where your stuff is. I run into a number of even large companies that have no idea where their hosting lives, their domain, what their domain even is, why, who has it. That probably employee that left last month took all that stuff with them. Having control. Again, be not a control freak. Just know where your stuff is. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is, let's see, number 2 could be keep your websites up to date. And again, doesn't matter, size of the business, who you are. Some people just don't make that a priority. They're just focused on the marketing, doing their day-to-day stuff and building all that. But they let their tech, it's just bad. It's bad shape. That's what we get paid for. We like that. But, 3, let's see. Care about your speed and performance of a website. I think that's because in this day and age, it's super important for mobile speed and all that stuff. If you care about search engines, you care about people staying around your website. And so I think performance is a big thing there. 2 more. Let's see. Have a good team to help you find a good developer, even if you don't hire them full time or whatever, or have them on contract or anything like that. Get referrals, whoever you can talk to, have that person on hand, and give them some projects here and there, to test them or whatever you have to do. But have somebody that you can advise you and help you with the tech side, because you probably don't know what you need to know. So having somebody around is good. What else? Bridget?
Oh my gosh. Stop using PDFs on social media. Stop using PDFs ever on the web. And my next guest is going to be all about accessibility. But but on websites, test your website on your mobile device, not on Wi-Fi. As a guest, ask your grandma. Like one of the things that really drives me banana pants is read the copy on your homepage. And when I say copy, that means the words. That's why I say launch with words, right? Read the words on your homepage. If you could keep that language and it applies to a construction company, then you need to rewrite it. If you're providing valuable solutions to your customers that produce proven results, you could be a stockbroker. You could be a gym coach, personal trainer person. I mean, you could be anything. You could be driver's ed program. What the hell does that mean? The internet is blind.
Words
so
are
when
so
you go
important.
for search, you need to use what the hell you're doing. You're a marketing agency, then say we do this.
Right. When they land there, you should figure it out.
What you do.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be
That's
right. What do you do again at Thanksgiving? What do you do again?
And that's actually, it's funny because you go to a lot of marketing websites or agencies or whatever, and you it takes, I was on like a videographer, like I was looking for a videographer on one of their websites. I'm like, I don't actually know what you do. Some about video. What kind of video? Like what kind of, like what have you
Are you
done?
doing
What
TikToks? Are you doing YouTube shorts? Are you
can I
doing
tell you?
wedding photography?
Right, exactly. And actually, I got a fifth one. This will be six now. I think we just had.
No, that was mine. So what's your fifth
Oh,
one?
okay. My fifth one is uh, go to your website once in a while and click around.
Yes. Click
You know
around.
what?
Woo. Click around.
And I say
Woo.
that
Click,
because,
click,
again,
click.
I was just at an agency website today, and I'm like, why? I clicked their menu buttons, their menu items, several of them, and they were all going to a 404.
Oh my God.
And I've had that happen before. There was another agency that I know, I won't say who, they had this. I actually contacted them because I knew them, like, that your website's broken. But click around because things can change, things can happen. And suddenly you have this great contact us button at the top that goes nowhere.
Yes, that happens all the time. Or the social icons on the bottom.
Yeah.
Or like you have somebody redesign your website and then the blog isn't there anymore. And your social media manager is like, what happened to the blog? Oh, there isn't a blog anymore?
Yeah. So, I mean,
Nah,
if you don't
nah.
have somebody, now you might hopefully have a maintenance team that checks that stuff for you
Yeah,
regularly.
but this is part of the problem. The smoke and mirrors and the slick willy talking of salesmen, like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and this and this. And you're like, okay. And then all of a sudden you're like, where's my blog?
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
that wasn't part of the scope. Well, what happened to the 40 posts that used to be there that I hired
Yeah,
somebody to do
they
that I
might
spent
not.
all this money on?
Right. Because to tech, listen, tech people they do what they do. They don't, a lot of tech people, programmers or web developers don't know how to market or how to sell or what
Right.
content it even is. So you do need to visit your own website once in a while. In fact, I just caught something on one of our websites. I won't say where, so you can't find it, but it'll be fixed in a day or two. But we found some images that were out of whack. They were like really granular because they weren't being optimized, or there's a situation. But I wouldn't have seen that. My team may not even have caught it,
Right.
because it's so subtle. But I saw it, and I'm having to fix it. But just little things like that.
It could be
Just
that,
visit your
or
website every
all of a
so
sudden
often.
you're getting syndicated content. This is part of why I had my idea for Launch with Words, getting syndicated content on your travel website because you decided to go with one of your peers' recommendations for one of these giant multi-site deals, like the realtors are the same thing. And you're getting syndicated content pushing cruises. You don't even like cruises. You don't sell cruises. You hate cruises. You don't even want to sell cruises. And it's
Right.
cruise, 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 cruise. So but it's hard because business owners don't always understand what is involved. And so that's why Warren and I wrote our book, the only online marketing book you need for your small business. That's why I have this podcast. That's why you have your podcast. Like, you have to know what's going on. You're not going to know if you're not educated. Matt, thank you so much. I feel like I need you on 10 more times. This has been so great. It's always great. Y'all, if you liked having Matt on the show, go listen to the Builders podcast, thebuilders.fm.
Thebuilders.fm. Yes.
Thebuilders.fm. I was a guest on there once, maybe twice. I can't even remember anymore. Super great content, reliably produced. He's on everywhere that you can find your podcast: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever. I don't even know where you can get Stitcher or something, blah, de, da,
Yeah. All
iHeartRadio or
over.
whatever,
YouTube.
right? YouTube.
YouTube.
Just
Yeah.
go to thebuilders.fm and Unified Web Builders. Hey, if you are listening to this podcast and you made it all the way to the 34-minute mark, thank you. Send me an email and I will connect you with Matt. If you need a website that's better than what you have, Matt's your guy. All right, Matt, anything parting words before we press the outro button?
Yeah, unifiedwebdesign.com. I'll see you there. If you submit, it'll open a ticket, and that ticket will find its way to me. I always say that. But yes, that's it. I love sharing today. Hopefully it helps some of the business owners out there rethink their situation or think a little more critically about it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Come to Jesus with Matt Levenhagen. Let's look at your website, people. Okay,
That's right.
I'm going to play the outro. Thanks for listening to Launch with Words, a podcast by BridgetWillard.com. If you like this podcast, why not go ahead and share it with your friends, small business owners, peers, your brother. I really appreciate your attention. If you have any ideas, contact me on my website. Follow me at Bridget M. Willard on Twitter. And I hope to see you on the next episode or the next season.